now available in paperback and e-readers. Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Along with the contingency of beta black males who were out here hooping, hollering, and celebrating Joe Biden becoming the next president of the United States, we had a large contingent of spellbound black females out here celebrating your Kamala Harris becoming the supposed first black woman vice president. Now, the reason why I use the word supposed black woman is because your Kamala Harris only claims black when it's convenient for her. Now, your Kamala Harris is one of these biracial black women who comes from a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. So she doesn't have anything as related to being a foundational black American in her DNA, and she's not an ADOS black American woman. However, many of these spellbound black American women, they will sit here and celebrate your Kamala Harris becoming the vice president of the United States because many of these black women who are spellbound want to create a covert contract between themselves and Joe Biden's presidency, the same way many of these same black women wanted to create a covert contract between themselves and Meghan Markle when she married Prince Harry. Now, when it comes down to the spellbound black woman, what she wants to do is fit into the black box that is acceptable to white people. And she, in order to fit into that box, what she will do is compromise her integrity by going out here and creating covert contracts between herself and white supremacy. Now, the covert contract that they create in these situations is to try to find some way to get elevated to a higher position in society. And in order to do that, they will go out here and claim people as black in order to be able to get that elevation to that high status or that high position in society that this biracial black person has achieved. So in most cases, when it comes down to your black woman in as related to biracial black women, if that biracial black woman is involved with a black man, what she will do is say that that black woman is not black. And she'll say, oh, that biracial woman is mixed and she cannot claim black if she's with a black man. However, if that biracial woman is involved with white men, that same black woman will then claim that biracial woman as black and say that that biracial woman is black because that biracial woman is in a social circle where she is being accepted by white people. So that in that covert contract, what they do is try to get elevation from the biracial black woman who's involved with the prominent white man because she can find a way to get acceptance into a larger social circle and a more popular social circle by accepting this biracial person as black. So that's the covert contract that many of these black women have with your Kamala Harris right now. And the only reason why they're claiming her as black is because God, Joe Biden, has chosen her to be his vice president. And in their eyes, that's the same as being chosen to be the helpmeet to God. Moreover, they see that your Kamala Harris is married to a white man, so she's been elevated by two prominent, powerful white men. And because she's been elevated by two prominent and powerful white men to high social status inside of white social circles, this is why your black women in some groups are out here saying, oh, Kamala Harris is a black woman. However, your Kamala Harris does not claim ADOS or foundational black American, and she only gets involved with boule social circles like AKA and other groups in order to gain opportunities for herself and be able to take advantage of black social circles so she can elevate herself at our expense, because your Kamala Harris really is not black, and she only uses black people as pawns to be able to get herself elevated. And your Joe Biden used Kamala Harris as a tool to get black votes, especially black female votes, because Joe Biden understood the reflexive properties of your black woman's mindset as related to biracial black women. He understood that because your Kamala Harris was married to a white man, this would make her attractive to black women and would be seen as a black woman in the eyes of those black women, and would be seen as a positive as related to so-called diversity as related to his campaign, because your Joe Biden was seen as a white supremacist and a racist, and your Kamala Harris was seen as one of these mammies out here before, as she was out here protecting and supporting white supremacy and going out of her way to persecute black men. Now, all of these would be positives for certain black women in the community, because a lot of them have grudges against black men, and some of them, again, want that white acceptance from those white males. So this is what people aren't really thinking about as related to all of this hooping, hollering, and celebrating. What you're seeing is many of these black females getting spellbound, and I talked about this in my novel Spellbound as related to your black woman wanting to fit into the black box that's acceptable to white people, and their whole covert contract that they have as related to biracial black women. They only accept biracials if they are involved with white men, because they believe that they can use that biracial woman and claim her as a way to get validation for themselves. So by claiming this biracial black woman, they can say, oh, that we have a black woman in these white social circles who's in the place of success that they want to be in. They can't get there themselves, so they are willing to give this biracial woman, who they would hate at any other time, a complete pass, so that they can get into those social circles and say, oh, like with Meghan Markle, we have a black princess, or like Kamala Harris sit there and say, oh, we have a black female vice president. However, what white supremacy is doing is manipulating the black woman into believing she has something when she has nothing, because this same biracial individual, while they will claim black in order to receive black votes, does not support black people, does not support black causes, and wants to go out here and continue to oppress black people, because oftentimes a lot of these biracials that we want to claim, many of these same people have daddy issues, and that's why you have women like your Kamala Harris having a real serious issue with black men and wanting to go out here and persecute black men. Same thing with Barack Obama. They want to persecute black men because their fathers weren't in their lives, so they don't know anything about being black, and their whole quest for white acceptance is the thing that drives them. And many black women will sit up here and they'll buy into superficial things that some of these black men will do, like your Kamala Harris wearing Timberlands, eating greens with hot sauce, believing, oh, this person is about supporting black causes. But this isn't about supporting us. This is about manipulating us into believing this person is going to accept us. But when we look at their policies were not about bringing tangibles back to black people or giving black people the support that they needed. But when I look at this whole situation again, it shows me how easy is to lull black people to sleep, because when you're spellbound, all you're thinking about is white acceptance. And this was the sad part about election 2020. It showed me how long a road we have to go on, because many of these black folks out here, they were easily tricked by a few minor gestures, and that led to them becoming spellbound once more, because a spellbound individual, again, they want to fit into that black box that's acceptable to white people, and they would rather be a stereotype than have an identity all their own, because they fear that they won't be able to get accepted by the white gods that they have created in their minds. And they don't understand that this is all constructs in their minds. And the whole idea of a Kamala Harris being a black woman, when she was never black, never claimed black, and wants nothing to do with black people, that's something that flies over the heads of most of these black women out here, who are, again, find acceptance from people who haven't accepted us. And the big problem is that we have not accepted ourselves as black. We don't see value in blackness, and we don't see value in a black identity, and we don't have a standard for a black identity. And that's how you have your spellbound black women out here celebrating Kamala Harris being the first black female vice president, even though she's not black at all. And again, it all goes back to a covert contract many black women want to create with your Kamala Harris, a contract she never agreed to, a contract she knows nothing about, and a contract that if she even knew about it, she probably would be laughing about it, because the only reason why she would get involved with that covert contract is to take advantage of gullible black men and black women and use that contract in order to gain votes for free without ever having to offer anything tangible, because most black women are emotional and they're caught up in their emotions about social acceptance and social currency, not understanding how this woman plans to devalue them and how you're not going to get anything tangible in exchange for your vote, and how you have turned a business transaction into something free and made it where people just take your vote for granted. So a lot of these black women, they were hooping, hollering, and celebrating, but what were they celebrating? That's the critical question I have to ask, because what did you get outside of some empty symbolism that's going to make a good point in a history book? But when you really start to take apart that history, all you see is an empty symbolic gesture that does absolutely nothing for black people and does nothing to empower black people, because how can you elect somebody who was instrumental in oppressing black men in California and then think that it's going to empower black people? Another critical question I want to ask most of those black women, because these were your fathers, these were your husbands, these were your sons and grandsons that your Kamala Harris sent to prison, and she even sent some of you to prison for not sending your kids to school. But you're going to celebrate this as some sort of accomplishment, electing the woman who was out to oppress you as the vice president, and then think it's some sort of major accomplishment. Again, showing me how codependent many black men and black women are in America on racism, and how they would rather go back to the abuser on one plantation than try to strike out and stand up on their own. I mean, I really see the mental illness here, and I talked about that again in depth in my novel Spellbound, as related to the darker shade of black, because many of these black women, again, they have insecurities and issues as related to biracial people. And these people will talk about colorism and all of these other things, but they can't see how they're so spellbound, and seeking white acceptance is one of the problems that they have, and how this is one of the things that led to them electing somebody who really is not acting in their best interest and has no real interest in looking out for black interests, especially the interest of black women. Your Kamala Harris is black, it only pretends to be black on the outside when it's convenient for her, but when you look at who she hires, it's Indians and West Indians and not foundational black Americans or ADOS black Americans. That's what she did when she was running for vice president. She wasn't looking out for us, but we have all of these black people looking at her as some sort of hero when she wasn't a hero to us at all. And the sad part is many of these black people are so spellbound by her light skin and her light hair, they can't see the wool being pulled over their eyes. Now, if you want to pick up my novel Spellbound and learn about how many black people want to fit into the black box that's acceptable to white people, you can pick up that novel on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find it on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Vampires Stalk the Darkness of the Eternal Night. Get your copy of Eternal Night in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com.